we wanted to create something that was true and something that was real, because when you're in the musical theater, a lot of times you're in a more fantasy world or fantastical world. So we wanted to create something that was about the truth, about being honest, about something that really happened. So we started to research the trials of America, thinking that there might be some story in there to tell that could be theatricalized. And of course, we fell upon the Scottsboro Boys, which is one of the most famous trials in American history. Kander and Nebb write about people who have hope. They write about the underdog. They write songs like, maybe this time I'll get lucky. Maybe this time I'll win. They write about the underdog. So when we fell upon this story about these 9 young men who were accused of this horrific crime, the idea that they could now write about these 9 men and give them names, because they were called the Scottsboro Boys, like they were a vocal group or something. But you knew the names of the jury, you knew the names of all the reporters, you knew the names of the judge, but you never knew the names of the Scottsboro Boys. So it was like Kander and Nebb were on a mission to make them as individuals and to write about this injustice. In doing our research, the reporters and the journalists would say every time one of the young men came into trial, they said there was a minstrel show. Here comes the minstrel show. And that was very a popular art form at the time of the Scottsboro Boys. So I thought, what if we put it in the form of a minstrel show? Because in a minstrel show, typically there's an interlocutor, there are 2 end men who tell jokes, and then there are storytellers in the middle. And that in a minstrel show, they do tell stories, but the stories are like, you know, the farmer's daughter and the stable boy or something. Now, what if it was an important story that was being told? And then what if at the end, the actors walked away from that American art form, that they were able to walk away from the interlocutor, walk away from that art form, and just leave that art form behind and go into the future. Nothing gives me greater pleasure than to be in the back of an audience and see how a show that I've been part of creating affects an audience. Like if it's Crazy for You, I see people put their arms around one another. Or if it's producers, they're laughing hysterically. If it's Contact, I see them heartbroken when the abusive husband goes after that wife. In the Scottsboro Boys, that audience leaves that theater and keeps talking about what they saw. It elicits conversation. And I think of all the shows that I've been involved in, and I've been very lucky to tell diverse stories, because I feel like I am a storyteller through dance. But of all the stories, this is the one that has hit us in the heart most of all. I know that's true for John Kander. It's the most, and David Thompson, the most important story to tell. Now it is going to go out to the masses, and what I saw last night was incredible. I came to the last minute of a dress rehearsal. I came around the corner and just heard the lines and got very emotional. But seeing the show last night was so thrilling to me. I can only make a vehicle for people to drive. You know, I can only make a story for people to take, but it takes these actors to now invest and bring everything that they know, everything that they have been through, and add to the story and add to these characters, do their research, but then they have to make it their own.